Hi, welcome to the first episode in our Elevate series, where we'll be talking everything robotics, drones, UAV, and autonomous devices. We'll be joined by people in the industry who are in the midst of exciting changes that are happening in this space, and in a lot of cases are the ones driving these changes. I'm your host, Aditya Agrawal, founder and COO of Vyom, the default operating system for autonomous robots. We are fortunate today to be joined by Vivin Rana, founder and CEO of Leher. Leher is on a mission to empower over 5 million farmers with the latest in technology and sustainable farming practices. Vivin, welcome to Elevate and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Aditya.
Let's start with the company. What does Leher do?
So Leher is, as you are the default OS, Leher is building the OS for drone spraying for the Indian farmers. So we want to bring technology to the farms of every Indian farmer on a paper acre basis. We do not want farmers to own expensive equipment. We want them to have the service on a minor cost and have the best technology that is available out there. And drone spraying, I will be very frank, up till a year back, we were very skeptical ourselves that how would this technology actually come out? How would this really benefit? But today we are able to provide a paper acre basis service of 300 rupees an acre to the customer on their doorstep. Our pilot goes to the doorstep of the farmer and is able to provide spraying service. May it be anything from a fertilizer to an insecticide to a fungicide, whatever the farmer demands, whatever the crop demands, and we're able to serve that at 300 rupees an acre across Haryana, Punjab, Rajasthan, UP. Right now, as we speak, I'm in Kerala. We're spraying in a rubber plantation. So yes, so we are able to do a lot of things which we ourselves had doubts on, but now we were doing them.
Like I said, you're one of those change makers that are almost changing this industry. Start with the beginning. So, what is the origin story of Leher and you founders? How did it all start?
It, it started like I'm a son of a farmer. My father is a farmer, full-time farmer. He's very excited about farming. So is Navdeep's, my co-founder's father, and so is Aishi's father. So when we began, it was more of a question in the first lockdown when I used to run restaurants before that, and COVID came and it hit them very negatively, and they shut down in a matter of months from there. And it just got me thinking that okay, now what now? It really was that, and from there it was like okay, I had decided one day, and one off day I had mentioned to Navdeep. We used to live together back then, and I had mentioned that I'm gonna devote the rest of my life to farmers. And he was like, how you're making nonsensical statements? But I didn't have an answer then, but I think eventually we found an answer. We've got to bring tech to farmers and direct to them. It's not just we don't have to talk tech and we have to give talks, but have to be able to provide actionable advisory. Because advisory, we saw that there were a lot of people who were giving advisory to farmers, and the farmer was never willing to pay for that. And hence, the technology or the actual good work would reach the ground. So, we had thought initially itself that if we go towards any kind of advisory, it should be actionable. And we are able to do that today. In the past Kharif season, we have done more than 10,000 acres of spraying, and we've had tremendous results. In the next Kharif season, we have a target of upwards of 30,000 acres of Kharif spraying.
Amazing.
So I think that is where Leher started from, to help the farmer on the ground. And initially we worked a bit in solar irrigation systems. We helped farmers get solar irrigation pumps under the Kusum scheme of the government. So we did all the clerical work for them. And then eventually we pivoted. We wanted to go into a lot of services, but just saw as it was coming that the drones are gaining a lot of traction. There was a lot of movement from the government as well. and there were a lot of private players moving in. So we started looking in, and we haven't looked back.
This is amazing. And you kind of started touching upon this, right? So where is Leher today and where does it go in the next few years?
Today, we're roughly at, we can say, roughly 12,000 acres are behind us. There, just in Haryana alone, which is our key market as of now, it's a 90 lakh acre market, and 99.9% of that land is sown every year. So it's now about getting to all those 6,000 villages in Haryana, and we believe every village can have its own drone and spray, or we believe that there would be certain areas where there would be more density of drones that would be required, and we are very sure that these would be run by individual entrepreneurs, just like tractor entrepreneurs. These would be run by individual entrepreneurs who own this machine and then serve farmers on a pay per acre basis, and we are the facilitators for the tech that is needed, for all kind of dashboards that are needed, all the data. We give the farmer data from the map of the spraying, what swath the drone cover. And farmer today, it was very difficult to think that farmer would not come to the field and would just sit home when the spraying is happening. But as we do that today, it is happening. Farmers have started trusting us, especially the repeat farmers who have seen the quality of service we provide
Okay.
on the farm. And yes, so it's I'm a little excited about this, so pardon me if I go haywire.
No, so are we all. So are we all. But let's kind of for our audience, let's start with the basics, right? So how are drones used in agriculture today?
So agriculture, the major usage is spraying drones. And as Leher, we only work with spraying drones.
Okay.
So these are anywhere between 25 kg to 40 kg drones, where the base weight of the drone starts from roughly 10 kgs, 5 kg is the battery weight, and the the payload starts at 10 liters.
Got
So
it.
liters of water enough for 1 acre of land, which is astonishing because farmers usually use 100 liters of water. So now, due to the small droplet sizes and the vertical spraying, 10 liters of water is more than enough. So we basically work with that. Other than that, drones are used for analytics with multispectral cameras, hyperspectral cameras to determine the health of the land, of the crop, and then take subsequent measures. But what Leher majorly works in is the spraying aspect. Whatever needs to be sprayed, fertilizers, insecticides, fungicides, everything with the drone we use.
And just to understand, where else can drones be used in agriculture outside of spraying?
Outside of spraying, just like I mentioned, analytics. Like here, I'm in Kerala, so here we use multispectral drones to check the health of the trees. We're in Mundakayam right now, and there are this is like 240 hectare like almost 600 acres of rubber plantation. So it's very difficult to manually check health of each and every tree,
Right.
but can do that using multispectral cameras on a drone. So that's where it becomes very effective. And so the customer also has to be willing to act. If it were only a 5 hectare or a 2 hectare farm,
Right.
farmer would not really be keen on spending on a drone tech or anything else, but would do so manually. But for a 600 acre farm, it's very difficult to do it manually. So here, drones have come in as something which provide a lot of value to the farm managers.
Very interesting. And you again, you kind of touched upon this in the 10-liter versus 100 liters, right? What are the benefits of using drones compared to the alternatives? And what are the alternatives? Manual labor?
Alternatives are, the major alternative is the knapsack sprayer, where you put upon a 20-25 liter sprayer on your back and manually do it. No one uses PPE kits. PPE kits, I have seen zero people field using PPE kits. So it's hazardous. More than 10,000 farmers die annually just because of pesticide poisoning. The second one, the tractor mounted sprays. So they need at least three people to actually operate. So it's again labor intensive, as well as it's very practical. You take that big pipe inside your 200 feet acre, and you are destroying your crop with that pipe.
Mm.
You are maneuvering that from one place to another. So
Mm.
drones simply are better. There is, I don't know how else to put it.
Mm.
5 minutes to cover an entire acre. We take 10 liters of water, because of which we are now able to provide or bring good quality water also to spray, which affects the efficacy of the chemical very positively. Because farmers would otherwise use the water available in their tanks or wherever, which might not be the cleanest. It varies from place to place, but
Sure.
water is very essential for your work really nice.
Got it.
Efficacy increases. So another where the drone is just winning, and we're able to do it in 5. Apart from the labor, which would be able to do it in 2-3 hours, the the maximum benefit of this comes in a shorter spraying window. Let's say there is a pest attack right now. Let's say the cotton is being, let's say we are sitting in the middle of the kharif season and the cotton is being attacked by the pink bollworm.
Mm.
So now that attack comes in the entire agroclimatic zone at one time itself.
Mm.
That's where the efficiency of the machine matters, that how many acres can the machine actually cover in one day. And when the conditions are good, our drones can now cover upwards of 80 acres a day.
Wow.
When the demand is clear, the pilot knows, okay, here I have to go here, I have to spray these times. And starts from early in the morning. In the Kharif season, as I talk about cotton, we start up in the morning at 5:30 a.m., spray up till 11:30. Then the temperature rises. We give the pilot some rest. We give batteries some charge. Then 3:30 in the evening, until whenever the pilot can see, there is spraying time. And flying time per acre is only 5 minutes. So we're able to do a lot more spraying than as compared to any conventional method. And the only option people often have, I don't know if I'm just, I think, jumping the gun here, but the obstructions are wires which are present in maybe 2-4% land, or,
Okay.
or big trees which under can't fly. But the surprising thing is that hasn't stopped us from serving any customer that ever called us. We've always found a way around it. And
Mm.
farmer is also very understanding, where he also sees, or she also sees, that this is the size of the machine. It cannot go here, so it cannot be done. So
Mm.
tell us, the farmers will be very angry at you. They will throw you out of the village. The farmers are the nicest people. And when we go to them and provide a solution, and they see for themselves that there is a small helicopter that has come, which they earlier have heard that big farmers used machines, or American farmers used aeroplanes for spraying. Now they have their own in the, so they're very happy. They love us, and we are loving.
Very interesting. You talked about the limitations, and as you rightly said, that was going to be my next question, right? So, where can drones not be used? You already touched upon that. What are some other challenges that you are seeing today, and where do you see them going?
See, now that you talk about other challenges, autonomy, I guess, is something that's needed. A lot of spraying today, which is happening via manual spraying. Manually, the pilots are flying the drones. We have
Right.
a Leher Drone Shala back in Hisar, Haryana, where we teach pilots to be field ready and not just be license ready.
Right.
So once pilots have the DGC approved license, we teach them to spray about on certain crops, how to do it, how to maneuver the drone on a sugarcane field, or a rice field or a wheat field, we do teach them. But I really want that the machine becomes smarter, that the drone becomes smarter. Just for instance, like we've had a couple of crashes where a motor has failed mid-flight, and like I was having this discussion with Aishi, who looks after tech in the company, and he was saying that this could be avoided. The motor should be smart enough that even if one fails, the other five can actually, it's a hexacopter, so six motors, the other five can actually take up that pressure or within amongst themselves, that so that they can at least make the drone land safely.
Yeah.
And that's
Or even flag it before flying in the first place.
what.
Or even flag the fact that this motor might be faulty even in the first place.
So rather than taking a action, you just take a precaution.
Right.
So that's where I think, and I hope someone does it. I hope you do. Or so, and we make smarter. This, the precautions are actually very necessary, because we have, as a company, we have a policy of a drone check after every 50 flights, where the person has to manually go and check, are all the propellers on board, are all the motors balanced, all the landing gears are okay. But if the drone becomes smart enough that it can tell us this itself, like you mentioned, uh, it would be a wonder.
Excellent. Yeah, could you also talk about, what is the market landscape, right? So who's making the drones, who's buying the drones? I love that you've changed the game, right? Instead of the farmers buying, it is now the entrepreneurs buying. So rather than being a capex heavy investment, this is a paper spray kind of scenario. But we'll talk about the market landscape. How does it work?
So there are a couple of manufacturers, a couple of big ones now. We're also starting to manufacture our own drone, and it's there are a lot of buyers. There are a varied well, uh, type of buyers. There are institutional buyers who I know people who bought like 100 drones, have big orders. I know individuals who have now increased from 1 to 10 drones, 14 drones, and there are individuals who are owning only one drone. We are seeing the traction the one drone people have the best. So they are their own owner. One, they're entrepreneurs, so they work for anyone. Second is they're able to pay themselves the profit, or they pay themselves the salary, which is sustainable, and they're able to make almost double of what Uber drivers make in metro cities, where they have big rents to pay, where they have big food bills to pay, as compared to when they live in villages, because that's where major drone work is. They have almost none of those expenses. So net earning for these individual entrepreneurs is the most when they run a drone. And we highly promote using a car, as opposed to, this might not be the most popular opinion, as opposed to bikes, because bikes are very dangerous when we put down that drone at the back of it, and then three-wheelers have not really worked. Ifco knows it more than anyone. Ifco has done some wonderful work, by the way, because they have pushed the drones to be on the field through one initiative or the other, which is actually wonderful for a non-governmental organization to do. And but the bike model hasn't worked really. It's still working. Some people are using it. The three-wheeler or the electric rickshaw model hasn't worked. So we believe that cars would work, because cars can carry the drone, carry the batteries, carry the pilot and the co-pilot. So pilot and co-pilot, when they're together, they're able to maximize the acres per day, because they're able to productively work to fill in the chemicals. The co-pilot can navigate, can talk to the farmer, and the pilot can actually do the spraying work itself.
And despite the at its face, it seems a little more capex, right? Despite all this, the entrepreneurs still make a great profit.
That's also another great thing in the industry that the government has done. They've introduced the Agri-Infra Fund loans for drones. So we are, as a company, Leher, we help the entrepreneurs end to end to acquire the drone, starting from what drone to get, how to get it. We help them finance it, insure it, and make it functional for them till the end. So the resultant interest rate on an AIF loan for the drone is 6% interest, which is almost the cheapest finance in the country available for anything.
Wow.
It is comparatively cheaper for the entrepreneur to get. They are able to get upward 90% of the finance available for the drone. And like, we sell one of the cheapest drones in the country at 6.5 lakh rupees with 4 sets of batteries and insurance. So the entrepreneur is able to make economic sense out of it. The return window is anywhere between 18 to 24 months as of today. And as we speak, batteries are becoming better. We've had wonderful people in the country making batteries. So it's like, it's becoming cheaper by the day. So next year, when I say this 6.5 lakh rupee figure, very confident to say that we'll be able to bring it down to 5.5 to 5.75 lakh rupees. I'm speaking out these numbers because I want people to know these numbers.
And so let's talk more numbers, right? How
Yeah.
many acres do the farmers spray? How much? You said 300 rupees is what you want to bring it down to, but what is it today? Talk more numbers.
Numbers wise, like, if you would go talk to a sugarcane farmer, they would spend anywhere from 4,000 rupees to 12,000 rupees per acre per season to actually give to the labor.
My God.
Sugarcane is difficult to spray. It is height. It is thorny. It is basically difficult. So they tie up the sugarcane twice in the season to be actually able to maneuver within the field. And then specialized labor comes which sprays also. So it is expensive. So last season we charged farmers 400 rupees. They were very happy to pay 400 rupees. And so we further are now, depending on the crop and the difficulty. So drone flying is simple. The higher you fly, the drone is taking up more energy. So, and resultantly, we have to pay the price. So right now, where we start 100 rupees for lower crops. And as, let's say, sugarcane, we are thinking of going upwards of 350 rupees, going down from the past season of 400 rupees, so that the farmer sees that they go, actually this is getting cheaper.
Very.
It is unit level profitable for the entrepreneur. When the entrepreneur is able to get a minimum acreage of 1,500 acres in a year, he
Hmm.
or she is able to do 4.5 lakh rupees of work in the year. And 1,500 acres is the bare minimum that they do get.
Hmm.
So that is, there is a minimum acreage guarantee program that we are working on right now. It's not live, but we are building it up so that we can actually deliver, not just promise that we will deliver it and don't know how to deliver it. So we're making this program of now. So maybe if you invite me to another episode of your thing, so maybe I'll come and explain.
Very interesting. And talk about the macro picture, right? So how many drones are out there? How many are being sold? And where does this go?
Roughly 5,000 drones flying in the Indian market today, which is next to nothing as
Right.
compared to the acreage. We have 400 million acres. Okay, so I'll give you a picture of like China. More than 30% of agri land in China today is being sprayed using drones. 30%, very big number. In India, we're not even at 0.5%.
Hmm.
0.5%, where I say anyone has seen drone once. Repeat is a bigger thing.
Absolutely.
In the US, the annual growth rate is above 200% for the drone growths, more than 10 million acres. Because US average field size is very large. They used to do planes, they used to do,
Correct.
but now they are also seeing benefits that the drone brings, the custom application it brings, the precision it brings, and a lot of benefits that the farmer can get that the farmer couldn't get using a plane. So drones are catching up everywhere, and it's now a matter of when and not if, that how they come. And That's where we feel the business model has to be correct for the market, and we feel the individual entrepreneur model is actually great for agri drones to be out there. That's where that's what we are here to be.
This is very interesting. So there is a lot of growth in the future, but are there any obstacles or things that need to be solved from a market perspective before that growth happens?
Far- Farmer education, I guess, is one of the biggest things we have to see. The thing I told you about, the biggest question is, we used to use 150 liters, 200 liters of water. What
Right.
saying? This is land. Someone who's been doing that for 40 years, it's 30 years, 20 years, it's a natural thing to bring in. But farmers, one thing that is helping us is YouTube, with Instagram. We've just started our social channel, and it's like farmers see and they adapt faster than we imagine.
Yeah.
So that is one great thing.
I'm sure the low price point helps, right? Very, very easy to try it out.
Yes, and so we, as a company, we have an unlimited demo policy wherever we are operational. We're operational in Haryana, we're operational in Punjab, certain parts of Rajasthan and Western UP. Wherever we have a demand of a demo, our pilots just go. We have a team of certain pilots who are just there to give farmers demo, to give them education about what the drone is, how does it work, and we give them an acre, 2 acres trial along with whatever they want to spray. And when the farmer is satisfied, we go back, and every time we go back to a village, we at least get 10x demand. If we sprayed in 10 acres, at least 100 acres worth of farmers are either talking to us or getting the land sprayed. So the more we enter the villages now, it's just that the demand is growing. And especially in the peak season, where the spraying season is within the windows of the Kharif and the Rabi, it's like we're very happy to go to the village.
Very, very interesting. Good. So Vivin, let's talk about the future. So, where is the technology going, or where is it likely to go? What are your thoughts from being somebody who knows the market and has even seen the US market or other things that we? Where is the technology going?
The technology is it is definitely going in the next 2 years. I see it is all of the Indian market is going to be at par, if not ahead of what DJI is doing around the world in terms of its agri drones, the smart drones. And apart from that, India is a different challenging market. It has different challenges. As when we say that the land size is small, so not larger drones are going to work here. But we see 10, 16, 25-liter drones are the drones that are going to rule the Indian market. And by 2028, or 3 years from now, I see at least 50,000 drones to be there in the market. By 2030, at least 1 lakh agri drones will be flying in the Indian market, because we need to serve 6 lakh villages across the country.
Right.
Those 1 lakh are going to be dearth in numbers, but I see the market going at least to that 1 lakh number. And we want to be the default operating system who manages those drones in the market.
Excellent, excellent. And what about technology outside of drones in the agricultural space that you see coming in the future?
Outside of drones, there are beautiful companies working. Nico Robotics is there, who do spraying on a shotgun machine, which is like spread across the field, and they have these sensors and cameras combo where they save up to 90% of the chemicals, because they do spots. The cameras see this,
Excellent.
then they tell the sensors that now this is the day, and they're spraying. Beautiful work they're doing. There are many companies who are bringing these spot spraying tech. Then there is tractors are getting better. They get electric tractors have come in. Autonext has launched the electric tractor. It's expensive as of now, but as is every other tech. But next 5 years, I see Indian agri is going to use a lot of tech. And again, I am repeating myself, but how that tech reaches the farmer is going to be key. That the farmer is actually able to use it and not just see it on a video.
Right.
I think that's where we are going to be able to make our farmers more profitable per acre.
Excellent. And finally, what does Leher look like in the future? What are the paths in front of you? Where do you think you will go?
So in the future, in the next 5 years, we aim to spray 5 million acres on an annual basis. We need to touch 1 million farmers in the next 5 years who are our regular customers. We never want to serve a farmer once. We want to be a regular visitor to the farmer. And what special thing about Leher is Leher goes to the farmer, because our pilots go to the farmer, go to his land. No one else goes to the farmer, not even the farmer's relatives go to the farmer. The villages, we go to the farmer, we build a relation with them. We have a direct to farmer approach, and this is what we intend to double down on. Whatever other services the farmer asks us to give them, we will be more than ready in the future.
Excellent. Excellent. This is great, Vivin. Thank you again for your insights. Thank you for joining the show in the middle of a plantation. We'll let you get back to work. But again, thank you for being with us today.
Always a pleasure to talk to you, Aditya.
Bye.